Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad. Good morning to you. How are you?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny, lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore! Thank you so much for taking the time, Sue and Jen. Congratulations on season 2 of the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sue, if I could start with you. This show has been celebrated for its powerful storytelling and rich character development. How do you approach the challenge of adapting such a beloved source material and complex novel for television and then bring it into a second season?
Well, first of all, my job is made a gazillion times easier by being able to have the IP be as great as it is. Like, I mean, countless writers have worked on IP, including me, that's not as strong. So this is such a joy.
You want to name them? Yeah,
I'll name you all of them. But also, like, we had this writer's room, and I feel like so little, I wish the writers could, be able to, you guys can see all the writer's room in the process, but just so many huge brains, great writers come together to think about this story for 12, 13 weeks. A lot of heavy lifting is done there.
And Jen, when you talk about the heavy lifting that the writers are putting together and Sue is helping shepherd, it's all to also help your character and Solomon and really trying to bring that character to life. What's been the most challenging and rewarding aspect of bringing that story to life, especially as the series explores all the themes of heritage, identity, and personal growth that it does?
I think the hardest element of this character has been, from a technical standpoint, the language, the mastery of the languages that this character speaks. Having been born and raised in Japan, he's fluent in Japanese, but in both Osaka, which is the Kanto dialect, and also the Tokyo dialect. And he also speaks Korean, having grown up in a Korean household, but with a Japanese accent because he is in Japan. And then also his English that he would have learned in Japan, international school, but also in Connecticut and New York in 70s and 80s. I tried to adjust my English just a little bit to feel maybe, not so much like I'm speaking colloquially now. All of that was, language is always a huge part of finding a character, but especially with Solomon, especially with the source material, especially with the cultural context, the language was so crucial to the storytelling. When characters use one word for, they use the Korean word for grandmother in the middle of a Japanese sentence. That means something. Or they use one Japanese word for real estate in the middle of a Korean sentence that they're speaking. That means something. There's a reason behind every single sentence, and being structured that way. And so similarly, because of all of that hard work that everyone in the writer's room was doing, I felt it, incumbent upon me to then nail it, try to get the dialects and the accents and the fluency as accurate as possible, because it's not just, it's so much a part of the storytelling. Like, how he speaks actually indicates so much, and I wanted to really honor that as much as I could.
Oh, thank you. What a beautiful answer that was. I guess As my time runs out, this question is to both of you. Sue, we'll start with you. After people start to dive into season 2, what do you want them to take away from this season?
I mean, I hope they take away the same thing that they took away in season 1, is that it's a story that feels both familiar and new, and that leaves them emotionally both comforted but also a little bit raw, and that we always say after watching Pachinko, like, we hope everyone calls home, you know, and reconnects.
And Jim?
I think it's the show made me, the season 2 really made me think about the worlds of difference between generations, how much things change. Everything, technology, history, geography, you know what I'm saying, like language. Because it's so easy to forget how different things were. And I think there's wisdom obviously, there's wisdom to be gained, but I just mean remembering how quickly things can change within a family, right? That's what the show centers on. But that Solomon and Sanja, young Sanja, were merely 2 generations apart, but they exist in such different realities. I find that infinitely fascinating because we have countless of those examples, in everybody's lives.
Well, thank you both, and congratulations again on the show.
Thank you so much.